Good day, everyone. I am Teacher Juno, and welcome to my class. For today's video, we will be discussing about the nature of the roots of a quadratic equation. But before we start our discussion, let me share with you the following objectives. The first one is to determine the discriminant value of a quadratic equation and to characterize the nature of the roots of a quadratic equation. To achieve our objectives, the following key concepts are needed. In the quadratic formula x equals negative b, positive negative square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, b squared minus 4ac is called the discriminant. This will be used to determine the nature of the roots of a quadratic equation, whether they are real, non-real, equal, unequal, rational, and irrational. To characterize the nature of the roots of a quadratic equation, after determining the discriminant value, we have to consider the following concepts. When the discriminant is equal to 0, then the nature of the roots of a quadratic equation are real, rational, and equal. When the discriminant value is greater than 0 and a perfect square, then the nature of the roots of a quadratic equation are real, rational, and unequal. When the discriminant value is greater than 0 but not a perfect square, then the nature of the roots of a quadratic equation are real, irrational, and unequal. When the discriminant value is less than 0, then the nature of the roots of a quadratic equation are non-real or imaginary. Let us have some examples. Determine the discriminant value and characterize the nature of the roots of the following quadratic equation. To characterize or describe the nature of the roots of a quadratic equation, we must determine first the value of the discriminant of the given quadratic equation. So the first example is r squared minus 10r plus 25 equals 0. So the first step, we must make sure that the quadratic equation is written in standard form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So sa example 1 natin, masulat na siya sa standard form. So ang gagawin na lang po natin, second step, identify the values of a, b, and c. For the value of a is equal to 1, b is negative 10, and c is equal to positive 25. After identifying the values of a, b, and c, use the discriminant formula. So ano nga ba ang ating discriminant formula? So ang discriminant formula natin, okay, so delta is equal to b squared minus 4ac. Delta is the symbol used for discriminant. Substitute the given. For the value of b, we have negative 10. Ipapalit lang po natin yung mga values ng a, b, and c. Minus 4 times 1 times the value of c, which is 25. Okay, next step, evaluate the expression. So we have discriminant is equal to negative 10 squared or negative 10 times negative 10, that is 100, minus 4 times 1 is 4, times 25 is also 100. 100 minus 100 is equal to 0. So the discriminant here, or the discriminant value of quadratic equation r squared minus 10r plus 25 equals 0. So since the discriminant is equal to 0, the nature of the roots of the given quadratic equation, real, rational, and equal roots. Okay, again, since the discriminant value of the quadratic equation is equal to 0, then the nature of its roots are real, rational, and equal roots. Next example, we have 2w squared minus 4 minus 7w equals 0. As you can see in example number 2, hindi pa siya nakasulat sa standard form. So, ang gagawin natin, i-transform muna natin siya into a standard form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So, we will have 2 w squared minus 7w minus 4 is equal to 0. Next, identify the values of a, b, and c. A is equal to 2, b is equal to negative 7, and c is equal to negative 4. Use the discriminant formula. Discriminant is equal to b squared minus 4 times a times c. Then, substitute the values of a, b, and c in the discriminant formula. So, meron tayong discriminant is equal to b, which is negative 7 squared minus 4 times the value of a, which is 2, times the value of c, which is negative 4. Then, evaluate the expression. So, we have negative 7 squared, that is equal to 49, minus 4 times 2 is equal to 8. 8 times negative 4 is equal to negative 32. Next, 49. Okay, so minus negative po tayo. So, according sa rule na subtraction of integers, ang ginagawa natin, yung minus or subtraction sign, gagawin natin addition, and then, so yung ating subtrahen, papalitan lang natin ng sign niya. Since negative 32 siya, gagawin naman natin siya ngayong positive 32. So, ang value ng delta natin ngayon, 49 plus 32 is equal to 81. The discriminant value of our example number 2 is equal to 81. 81. 81 is greater than 0. And 81 is a perfect square. So, ano po ba ang sinasabi kapag ang discriminant ay greater than 0 at kapag perfect square siya? Since the discriminant is greater than 0 and a perfect square, the equation has real, rational, and unequal roots. Okay, again, since the discriminant value is greater than 0 and a perfect square, then the nature of the roots of the given quadratic equations are real, rational, and unequal roots. For example number 3, we have n squared minus 7 equals 0. So, si quadratic equation number 3 ay nakasulat na sa standard form. So, ang gagawin na lang natin ay i-identify ang values ni A, B, and C. For the value of A, we have positive 1. For the value of B, 0, kasi wala tayong linear term. And C is equal to negative 7. After identifying the values of A, B, and C, okay, let us substitute the given values of A, B, and C to the discriminant formula. So we have 0 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 7. Evaluate the expression. 0 squared is equal to 0 minus 4 times 1 is equal to 4 times negative 7, that is equal to negative 28. Okay, so 0 minus negative 28. So, since minus yan, according sa rule, gagawin natin siyang addition, pero yung subtrahend natin, kung ano yung opposite number ni negative 28, or yung opposite sign ng negative, which is positive, and then, so magiging positive 28 po siya. So, magkakaroon tayo dito na discriminant value is equal to 0 plus 28, that is equal to 20. Okay. So the discriminant value of n squared minus 7 equals 0 is 28. Since the discriminant value is greater than 0, pero ang pinagkaiba nito sa example number 2 natin, si 28 is not a perfect square. Not a perfect square. So, ano ngayon ang magiging nature ng roots niya? So, the equation has real irrational and unequal roots. So, kung mapapansin niyo, ang pinagkaiba lang ni example number 3 kay example number 2, pagdating dito, this is not a perfect square, kaya siya irrational. Okay po? Kapag perfect square siya, tapos greater than 0, rational yon. Kapag greater than 0 and not a perfect square, irrational. For our last example, example number 4, we have 3x squared plus 2x plus 5 equals 0. So since the quadratic equation is already written in standard form, we just have to identify the values of A, B, and C. For the value of A, we have positive 3. For the value of B, we have positive 2. And for the value of C is 5. Next, use the discriminant formula b squared minus 4 times A times C. Substitute the given values of A, B, and C. So for B, we have 2 squared minus 4 times the value of a, which is 3, times the value of c, which is 5. Evaluate the expression 2 squared, or 2 times 2 is equal to 4, minus 4 times 3 is 12, times 5, that is equal to 60. So we have here 4 minus 60. So we have 4. Proceed sa addition. Since ito ay 60, positive 60, magiging negative 60 siya. Okay, again, ulitin ko kapag tayo ay nagsasubtract ng integers. So we have 4. Since minus yan, si minus sign, gawing addition, or let us proceed sa addition. And then whatever is the subtrahend, kukunin nyo lang yung opposite number niya. So kung positive 60 yan, gagawin natin siyang negative 60. Then proceed sa rule or rules ng addition. So we have 4 plus negative 60. So according sa rule, kapag tayo ay nag-add ng unlike signs, sinusubtract po natin. So magkakaroon tayo ng 56. The difference is 56. Ngayon, anong sign ang ilalagay natin? So ang ilalagay nating sign is kung ano yung integer na malayo sa 0. Okay, kung i-consider natin ang number line, kung ano po yung number na malayo sa 0, yun po yung kukunin nating sign. So, between 4 and negative 60, si negative 60 yung mas malayo sa ating 0 sa number line. So, ang kukunin natin dito ay negative. So, the discriminant value is equal to negative 56. Ngayon, babalikan natin yung ating key concepts. Ano po ba ang sinasabi doon sa key concepts? Kapag daw, ang discriminant value ay less than 0 or a negative number, then the nature of the roots of the quadratic equation are non-real or imaginary. So dito, kung ika-characterize natin ang roots ni 3x squared plus 2x plus 5 equals 0 using the discriminant value, which is negative 56. So since the discriminant value is less than 0, the equation has non-real or imaginary roots. Iba. So, again, since the discriminant value of 3x squared plus 2x plus 5 equals 0 is negative 56, which is less than 0, then the equation has non-real or imaginary roots. It's non-real or imaginary.